1 year anniversary for us at Proper Picks. 52 weeks in the books. It's been a long year. We jumped in it kind of head first. Wanted to start handing out free plays. Seeing if anybody would tail us, anybody we could make some people some money. It's been fun. I will say a lot of lessons learned on some sides of things as far as certain sports that I wasn't so heavy in hockey and baseball. It's been an interesting ride for the year. We're up 55 units all time for the 52 weeks. So not special, I would say, but definitely profit. And we're looking to do what we can again for another year. As far as what's happening right now, college basketball starts this week. I think we're already 2 days in. Not a lot of big games on the slate so far, but you're getting to see a lot of teams lineups that they're throwing out. NBA's revving up. I believe we're 10, 15 games in, somewhere in that range, maybe around 10 games. NFL starting to get a little into the playoff picture here. A lot of divisional races are heating up. College football playoff spots are on the line. We saw a little shakeup this weekend with Tennessee going down to Georgia. TCU sneaking into the fourth spot. We'll see how long they hold on. Personally, as an Auburn guy, long season, we're 3-6. Got A&M on deck this weekend. We did fire the coach though, which is probably the most positive news we've had all year. Who will be the replacement? I'm pulling for a double back drop off at Lane Kiffin's house, but that's just me. My Cowboys are 6-2. Who knows? We're going to Lambeau this weekend, so we'll see. And we're going to slide on over to last week's recap. Big slate. I believe almost 40 games we handed out. We'll check it out. All right, and we're looking at the Proper Picks weekly recap from last week. 2015-3 plus 4.5 units. It was a solid week. I mean, any week you make profit, you're happy. We gave a little away on Monday night. That kind of hurt, especially after hitting our Ravens play. But, if you look sport by sport, college football, we're 9-7 minus a half unit. Notables, we lose Wake Forest, had 2 units on the money line. Just played awful. Sam Hartman just hasn't looked the same he did in the beginning of the year. He almost threw for 400 yards, but it was a mop-up, come from behind fashion. Clemson, that was a whiff, 2-unit play there. That really hurt our Saturday profit, those 2 games there, missing 2 of the bigger ones. But we were solid across the board on Saturday, especially. If you look at Kentucky, we had a -1 for 3 units. One that really hurt was that Texas Tech +9. They were right there all day. Didn't really feel like we were going to lose that one. Ended up losing by 10. Big fourth quarter out of TCU. We had a couple second half plays. You'll see there at the bottom, went 2-1 on Arkansas with a nice comeback. I believe they blanked Liberty in the second half. And then Clemson just was really riding that off of they underperformed so bad in the first half and kind of matched it in the second. Kansas State had a good second half comeback as well. Florida International UNT. Now, this was a 1-unit bet, over 61.5. We had 59 in the first half. We were watching some other games. I believe we were watching Georgia, Tennessee. And I'm sitting there telling the boys, I'm like, I got 59 in the first half of that over on that FIU game, and they're all laughing, talking, go ahead, put the green check mark up. And so I kind of went away and come back to it in the third, no points. It was 7 minutes left in the fourth when we cashed it. That thing got weirdly sweaty after such a dominant first half. Illinois, Michigan State, first half under 21. It was beautiful in the first. It got a little sweaty. I believe there was 16 on the board, but we cashed. So overall, we had a good day. I feel like we had a good pulse. LSU Bama got lucky to get there. We got the over in overtime. Didn't look like that was going to cash. It was only a half-unit play, but like I said, solid. In the NFL, we had a great week. 6-1-2. 2 pushes were even not so fun because we had it. Plus 7.45 units for the week. So solid week in the NFL. Ravens on Monday night was one of the, besides the Chargers money line was the big bets of the week, the cash bets of those. Chargers was super sweaty. Really was hoping to get that -3. We had a touchdown late where I think it was Eckler's elbow hit the ground on a weird Mike Dyer rollover play. But overall, very happy. Rams pushed. That was one of those ones where we felt like we had it, and they give up that back fourth quarter late touchdown. Both teasers hit. I've been so dialed in on not laying out teasers, but I really like these two 6 unit ones. 6 point moves we put together. So overall, solid there. Baseball 1-1 to end the season as the Astros took down the World Series. We were up 0.45 units for the week there. Team total play for the Phillies, they got no hit in that game, so way off. And then the Astros, we had them in game 5 for a unit. They got the win. The NBA just starting to get revved up. 3-3 plus 0.7 units. OKC was a nice one, 2 unit money line play that we hit. Heat won by 3 in that game. Bucks Pistons, that over was not even close. I believe it just touched 200 as the Pistons couldn't hit the broad side of a barn, as they would say. And then Suns just didn't get it for us there on Monday night. Really thought that they were kind of a lock there on that position. NHL 1-1, basically down, broke even, minus 0.1 unit. King Stars over 6 went over, and the Kings lose on Wednesday night. College basketball, we hopped on the first night. Really loved Akron, minus 3.5, and they win by 1 in overtime. That was a 1.5 unit L. And then Clemson minus 17. Really felt like Citadel. Everything I was reading is that they didn't really hit the transfer portal. Clemson needs to have a big year. It just felt like one of those ones where Clemson will come out the gate swinging. They just didn't get it done. But overall, a solid week, and we will slide into our all-time record and future bet update. Alrighty, so we're looking at the overall record as it stands right now. We are 569, 640, and 12, plus 54.5 units all time. Moving into year 2 for us for the Proper Picks Pod. College football this season up 8.6 units. Like I said, we missed a couple weeks in a row missing some bigger bets, or we'd be a little ahead there on the college football side. NFL fighting back. We got off to a horrendous start. I think we were down almost 7 or 8 units early, and it's fought back to almost even. Nice week last week really helped us. In the NBA, 5-5 up 1.1 units. College basketball starting this week 0-2. Got to get on the right side there, down 2 units even. NHL 3-1, almost up a unit, and then Major League Baseball ended. We finished at 108.87, up on basically 1.5 units, so almost a whitewash for the baseball season. Not that disappointed. Baseball is not necessarily my strongest suit. I'm learning, but yeah, did whatever. 1.5 units. Buy some beers with it. Futures bet, some looking good, some looking not. We pretty much counted out the Auburn bet in October, and it's obviously not going to get there. And then Bama Natty bet looks like it's pretty much over as of Saturday with the loss to LSU. We would need major miracles there. The other 3 plays look pretty solid. Kansas City get 9-1 on the Super Bowl win. They'll be in the playoffs. Will they beat Buffalo is pretty much my guess now, unless they slip to somebody in the divisional round. Jags under 6. They're 3-6 right now. We're getting plus 140 odds on that. That one's going to be close. I've been saying that for a couple weeks now. I feel like the Jags play. We'll have to see how the season finishes out, but it's one of those things where they're a little better than predicted this year, at least from us. So we'll sweat it. Steelers. This one seems comfortable. 2-6. They're going to have some tough games coming up around the corner. I was thinking as long as we weren't at 4 wins at this point, we had a really good shot, and I think we do. We're going to slide on over to the best bets for the college football weekend for this week's slate. Alrighty, we are looking at the college football best bets for week 11. Right out the gate on Friday night, we're taking USC Colorado over 66. This one's interesting to me on a lot of reasons because I think a lot of people are kind of going to disregard betting any game that involves Colorado unless you're taking the opposite side. And it's not that I think Colorado will keep this close. A couple reasons here. Both teams are giving up 400 yards plus a game. Not very good defense, I would say for the typical standard, especially for USC. And you've got Colorado basically almost giving up 500. It's 483 or 485 or something like that. Colorado's giving up 40 points a game. USC's scoring 40 a game. So usually when the average averages, that would almost indicate that we're going to get 35 minimum out of USC. It's not necessarily where we're betting it. I got a strong feeling that we're going to see a 50 burger out of USC here. I think, they're sitting a little further back in the playoff race, and this is, I always say this to my buddies, this is style time, if that makes sense. So you're going to see teams anywhere from 5 to 12 that are still have an opportunity, I guess, to get in the playoff, that are going to have to go out and beat teams, beat them to death to kind of, I don't know, pump up their resume, I guess is the best way to look at it. You got a Tennessee-Missouri matchup this weekend where Tennessee would really need to go out and just style-wise just hammer Mizzou because they're competing with Oregon, who's right behind them. And you know what I mean? There's all these teams that need to put up the style points. I think USC is going to lay the hammer on Colorado. I just get this feeling that we're going to get 14 to 21 out of Colorado as well. This is one of those ones where USC is going to be looking ahead. They've got some big matchups up ahead with Oregon and some other games coming up. And I just think, offensively they should be able to do whatever they want, but are they going to be as motivated to, pitch a shutout in that sense? Colorado is not good. I would say one of the worst teams in the Power Five, if not the worst, maybe if they're Vanderbilt. But I see this game maybe even getting into the 80s. It could be one of those Friday night games. You're going to turn it on and you're going to be like, holy hell, no defense. We're going to lay 2 on it at over 66. Don't be surprised when you see USC with 55 laid on the board. In a square dog, you don't see a lot of those, I guess. TCU is going to be a popular play. And unlike Tennessee, where I didn't want to touch it last week, I'm going to take TCU. They're the 4th-ranked team in the playoff right now. And a lot of this game, to me, has to do with Texas. I'm gonna fade Texas in almost every big game situation until they prove to me that they can win big games, and especially with this one, win by more than a touchdown. I'm fading them. TCU has one of the best. I wouldn't say, can't say if not the best, but they're up there with one of the best offenses in the country. Texas defense has not proven to be super stout. They've gotten in some shootouts in big games. Not saying Texas ain't winning this ball game. I just think TCU is going to be highly motivated. With their first chance ever to make the playoff. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw TCU jump out to a lead here and then see Texas with a come from behind, 41 to 38, 35 type ball game going either way. But we're looking to catch the 7 pretty much and run with it. Houston minus 20 against Temple. I know what people are going to say about this one. You're betting on a team that just gave up 77 points. Yes. Houston has a horrific defense. There's no doubt about it. They seem to always find themselves in shootouts. Doesn't matter who they're playing, but Temple's offense is porous. I mean, when I say bad, it is bad. They just hung a decent amount of points on South Florida, but if you know what you know South Florida's awful as well. I just see Houston coming in fired up to go hang. They just lost a shootout game to SMU. I look for Houston to almost put up the same amount of points. This could be 50 to 60 coming out of Houston. So you're looking at Temple. Will they give up 30? That's pretty much what we're looking at. And I like my chances here with getting this under 21. I'm thinking 42-21. I'd even be surprised. So Houston for a unit there at minus 20. Wisconsin minus 1.5. This is one I went and stared at on I think Monday. And I'm just not understanding why this line isn't a little bit bigger. I think people just are going off the past here with Iowa. This Iowa team cannot score points. When they play a team that has a solid defense like Wisconsin, you're set up to have a low-scoring ball game. I think Wisconsin, for whatever reason, since they fired Chris, in probably a rushed fashion, has looked really solid. Mertz at quarterback has not blown anyone's mind, but he's a game manager. He takes care of the ball. And I'm going to bet on Wisconsin's versus that Iowa offense. Both have good defenses. I see this being a lower scoring game. I'm thinking it's 20-14, 23-14, somewhere in that range. So we're going to lay Wisconsin for the unit. And that's the college football slate. We'll slide over to the NFL. All righty, we are into NFL Week 10 best bets for Sunday. We're looking at Broncos-Titans out the gate at under 39 for a unit. A couple of reasons here. Obviously, we know what the Broncos are bringing defensively, and I think also you could say, what the Broncos are bringing offensively is not pretty. I'm really betting this game more about the Titans. After watching that Chiefs game last night, got a lot of respect for that Tennessee defense. You already know the Titans are going to run the ball, and run the ball a lot. Malik Willis actually, he was under fire all game, but I actually thought he played a decent ball game. The deal for me here is Panthers. I think this game stays in the teens. I think it's 17-14, 14-10. Russell Wilson isn't impressing anybody, and until he does, I'm either fading or I'm taking unders in their games. I think both teams are strong defensively. You might see Derrick Henry break one long one. You might see Russell Wilson throw one moon ball, but I just look for this to be a ground them out running game. They're going to run Latavius Murray and Melvin Gordon, and the Titans are going to obviously put it on the Kings' back and see if they can win them a game. This thing could be one of the lower games of the weekend. So we're going to take it for a unit. And this one isn't as sexy. I actually talked to a lot of people who were talking about they love the Dolphins. I think it's because it looks like a square favorite, and people look at these games and they go, "Oh, Miami's been good. Offense got Tua and Tyreek Hill and Waddle, blah blah blah." And I really just like this game for setup spots. Browns are coming off a bye. Dolphins have not had their bye yet. It's next week. Not saying they're banged up, but they need their bye badly. They went on a long stretch without it, and I really just feel like the Browns kind of shocked teams a little bit. You saw what they did to Cincinnati right before they bye. Now, that is a rivalry division game, but they hammered Cincinnati. And Jacoby Brissett's numbers are actually pretty good. We're talking about a Browns team that likes to run the ball with Chubb, control the clock. Catching that hook there might even be the most important thing, but I like the Browns, honestly, to go in and win this game. I haven't put anything on their money line yet, but it's honestly a play I'm considering. And we're going to take the Browns plus 3.5 on the road for a unit. And then we're going to fade the Panthers. I mean, if I can catch the Panthers under a touchdown pretty much against anybody, I'm fading them. Falcons have really been impressive to me. You know, they don't have the best record when it comes to overall, but they have played teams really good. Could have won that game last week against the Chargers, and maybe should have. I don't know. They were in position at the end of that ball game. Now, they are going on the road here, but I think this is like a motivational spot, honestly, where you just played a really, prolific team in the NFL, even though the Chargers are playing ugly football. You played them close, almost won. Now you get to go play probably the worst team in the NFL on paper. If you're looking at it, maybe there might be the Texans might compete with that. But I think this is a great spot for the Falcons. It looks a little squarish to me in the sense that you're looking at it saying, how is this line only 3? Usually that means it's a square line. But something just screams to me that the Panthers are in tank mode. After watching that game against the Bengals last week, and I know the Bengals are better, but that thing was just ugly. It wasn't close from the get-go. I like to see Cordell Patterson back in this one. They're going to hammer the run game against the Panthers. You might see Cordell have just one of those 100 and 100 games. And really, the Algier kid's playing well. Huntley's not playing bad. The Falcons' run game is what's keeping them going. So, low-scoring ball game probably. I like to see a 24-17, 24-14 type ball game out of the Falcons. And we'll take them for a half unit. Make sure you're following us on Twitter with the Proper Picks Pod on Twitter and on TikTok. TikTok daily, we're dropping our best bets and our weekly stuff. And the overall cards hit Twitter. If you're following it all, you'll see we're giving 2 to 3 plays in college football and the NFL every week on YouTube here, and then the full cards get released. And you know the drill. We're trying to beat the book, chase the bag, collect some units. Maybe have a couple red stripes, a couple runners while we're watching them. But hope everybody has a great week. We'll be back next week. College basketball back in full swing. Obviously, buckets never stop with the Proper Picks. Hope everybody has a great day, and we'll be back next week.